and I'm wondering whether his memory loss and lack of clarity are due to a possible concussion, or if it's dementia." Dr. Erris poured their tea and added milk.
"I can certainly take a look at him and give you my opinion," she said, a smile playing on her lips.
Dr. Parker narrowed his eyes. "What is it you're not saying?" Dr. Erris crossed her legs and leant forward a little, her teacup in her hands.
"I was just thinking that much as I'm sure you value my thoughts on the matter, it might be more enlightening if you got the office to track down his next of kin and find out if he seemed confused before the bombs dropped."
"Dear me," Dr. Parker combed his hair back with his fingers. "I think it might be me with dementia. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm sure one of the nurses took a call from his son saying he'd be visiting later. I'll speak to him then. He must think I'm thick."
"I think you're anything but, John. But I do think you've been working round the clock lately. You need a decent night's shut-eye. The effects of sleep deprivation, especially over the long term, can mirror those of dementia, you know."
Dr. Parker let out a bark of laughter. "Thanks for the reassurance." He took a sip of his tea. "So, tell me, how was last night for you?"
"At the pub or during the air raid?" Dr. Erris asked, deadpan.
Dr. Parker laughed out loud again. "I meant the air raid, but I have to say that I personally had a thoroughly enjoyable evening at the Albion." Dr. Erris smiled.
"Me too."
As they drank their tea, they both exchanged stories about the aftermath of the bombing. Dr. Erris's time had been spent checking and medicating those inmates who had become distressed by the disruption, while until the early hours Dr. Parker had been in the isolation hospital in the West Wing, which had been converted into a makeshift ward for the injured. All the staff had done their bit, and most had gone to bed when they'd normally be getting up. Having finished his tea, Dr. Parker pushed back his chair and stood up. "Well, I'd best be getting off." He glanced at his watch. "Rounds to do." He looked at Dr. Erris. "And thank you for the belated tea."
"You're more than welcome,"
Dr. Erris said, standing up and putting the teacups in the sink.
"And I'll pop in to see your confused elderly gentleman. You've got me curious."
"Thank you," Dr. Parker said. As he made to go, he suddenly felt a little awkward. It would have been the ideal opportunity to ask Claire out on another date, so why was he hesitating?
"Let me see you out,"
Claire said, turning and walking down the hallway. As she opened the front door, she had to stop herself from slamming it shut again. Helen was walking down the pathway to the isolation hospital. Worse still, she'd spotted her and was raising her arm to wave hello. Dr. Erris turned around to face Dr. Parker.
"You know," she said, "it wasn't just the tea you passed up on last night."
Dr. Parker furrowed his brow in a question as Dr. Erris stepped forward, put her arms around his neck, and gently pulled him towards her. Chapter 1. Helen and Belle sat on the wooden bench to the left of the entrance to the asylum. The perfectly manicured lawns of the hospital grounds lay stretched out in front of them. A little earlier, the two women had literally bumped into each other in the corridors after they had ended up there following that night's air raid. Belle had gone to the asylum with her ma, Pearl Hardwick, to visit her ma's friend and boss, Bill Lawson, licensee of the Tatum Arms. The town's hospitals being full to bursting, he'd been taken there after being nearly buried alive when a bomb had landed on the pub he had gone to for a lock-in. Helen, on the other hand, had gone to the asylum searching for Dr. Parker, having felt compelled to tell him her true feelings. She knew she had missed her chance, though, by a matter of seconds, when she saw him kissing his colleague, Dr. Erris. While Pearl had gone off to visit Bill in one of the wards given over to those injured in the air raid, Belle had taken a distressed Helen outside to talk about why she was so upset.